welcome to the guide for Madalynne's spring collection. A collection that included DIY kits as well as a couple of ready-mades for styles such as the Godiva bodysuit, the Ray underwire bra, the Millie panty, the Buffy corset-inspired crop top and panty, the Brooklyn bralette, the Barker pant. It was a big collection. Now, in a perfect world, you would get your DIY kits, you would immediately open them, cut into them, refer to the product photos, and with all the links of all the variations and little details that you would need to make it. Because there are little variations that we made to make it just a little bit cuter. Unfortunately, it's not a perfect world and life comes up and you might not get to making this kit 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, whenever. And the product listing is gone with all the links to where you can find the tutorials for the variations or just details on the kit. Usually in the product description, we'll say that it's a Lycra and it's intended for the bra cups, or it's a ruffle elastic and intended for the underwire casing. But if you make it a year from now, that product description will not be here. I won't even say it probably won't. It will not. So this video is going to serve as a guide. I'm going to walk you through all the styles. It is not going to be a sew along, but just a helpful guide. As always, you can send me an email if you have any questions when you open your kit or cut into it, as far as like, what do I do here? Where was this used? Don't hesitate to reach out. So we're gonna start off with my favorite, which is this chartreuse and powder blue. This is actually the Godiva bodysuit without the panty attached. And the Godiva bodysuit and the Ray underwire bra, both from Madalynne's book, So Lingerie, have the same bra cups and frame. So backband is different, so you can use them interchangeably. So that's when this came out, it's a DIY kit for the Godiva bodysuit, for the Ray underwire bra. It's because both of those styles are very, very similar. So let's just walk you through what we use for this kit. So the side frame, the back bands, the lower bra cups all use the printed Lycra. And it's lined with a non-stretch fabric. The upper cups is just the lace, and then the center front panel is just a sheer panel, if you see that. Now, the sheer panel, this came in the kits, is like a sheer fabric. This is the center front panel, and how we constructed this, or cut this out, is that we laid the fabric over the center front frame, which we cut out using the pattern piece. And you can play around with placement if you want the lace maybe here, maybe, up to the center front, or all the way to the top. You can do that. You can have it going vertically. The world is your oyster with this placement. You can have the patterns matching, not matching, however you want. You will cut out the lace as you want it. And I'm just doing this really quickly, just to show you how it's done. Okay, so once you cut out, however you want to cut out, I suggest stitching down the lace panels along the scalloped edge. I blanked there for a second. Along the scalloped edge, and then constructing it as normal. Once that's together, you can construct it as normal. When we sewed it on. We actually sewed the underwire casing first, and then we were like, oh wait, what if we added like this little trim here? So then we added the decorative strap elastic on top. You can do a zigzag stitch or a straight stitch on either side, whatever you want. I think a zigzag stitch is a little bit easier, just a personal preference. And then the underwire casing is actually the ruffle elastic, which comes with the kits, encased in fold-over elastic, which I will link to the tutorial. For the boning casing, we used fold over elastic to 3/8 of an inch. We didn't put any boning in there, wanted a softer fit, so we opted not to. For the back bands, what we did is on the Ray as well as the Godiva, there is a back band piece. We just made it longer, or not longer, wider, and then sewed on the hook and eye tape, and then attached the fold over elastic here and wrapped it around. In order to do that, we had to hand pick out one of the hooks and one of the eyes before sewing on the fold over elastic. Also, after sewing that on, added a hook and eye at the top so that when this is worn, it wouldn't split open like that. We also applied the hook side, wrong side up. So you might think that this is a mistake, but we actually like how the hooks are exposed. So we sewed it with the hooks facing up rather than facing to the inside. All of the changes that were made to the chartreuse and powder blue, the same for the powder blue one. Just wanted to call that out in case someone thought like, hey, where's the sew along or tutorial or guide for the powder blue one? Exactly the same as the chartreuse one. Moving on to the panties, almost exactly as the instructions. The only thing is that fold over elastic for the boning casing. We didn't put any boning casing in there. We applied the decorative strap elastic on top, and we just eyeballed it, put it on top, decided where we liked it, and then sewed it on. And then hand sewed the charm onto the center fronts. The kits did not come with a band elastic if you wanted to make the bodysuit from the bra top and the panty, but you can use the wide fold over as your band elastic if you do want to make the bodysuit. For this fabulous Odessa variation, you're probably thinking like, wait, whoa, that is the Odessa? Yes, it is. I'm not gonna go over all of the changes because they were a little bit more in depth, so I did an entire blog post on the changes and the steps to do this lacing detail. But I'll just kind of show you a little walkthrough of it. Hook and eye at the back. We did some lace detailing at the neckline, charm at the center front neckline, charm at, oh, nope, not a charm on the panty, but the lace detailing on the side panels. This actually is the Millie thong from the book, but you can also use the Tanika thong. Moving on to the Brooklyn bralettes and the Barker panties from the collection. This screen is full with a lot of bras and panties. There are no changes to these styles. So these are exactly as the book instructs, the instructions say it should be sewn. Same goes for the Ryan bralette. There are no changes to this style, so you can follow the instructions as it is shown or as it is specified in the book. Moving on to the Daisy DIY bra and panty kit. This is the Godiva bodice and frame and cups. This is the Godiva panty portion. We did not sew them together. The kit doesn't come with a wide elastic band, but you can use the wide fold over if you want to make the bodysuit with this kit. All pieces for the front frame, bra cups, front panty are the Daisy all over lace lined with the chartreuse mesh. For the back band, it is just the chartreuse mesh. The same alterations for the back bands for that we did for the other DIY bra and panty kit, the toile one and the chartreuse and powder blue, is that we widened the back band on the Ray as well as the Godiva. We also added these little panels with fold over elastic, seam details, whatever you want to call it, just to give it like more of a corset feel. Believe me, this is not a corset, but it has the look of a corset. For the ruffle elastic or the ruffle detailing, I will link to that tutorial on Instagram on how to create ruffle casing. Same thing that we did to apply it to the bottom as well, the bottom of the bralette. Are there any other changes here? The only thing I want to call out is that the top edge of the bra cup is not a scallop lace, but if you watch a tutorial for the Godiva, I go over how to finish it. We also made this super cute, I've been seeing this trending like on Pinterest, cupless. So it's the Godiva frame and back band, completely sewn, but without the bra cups. Usually styled over a tee or a blouse. So we just sewed this up as a little variation that you can use with your kit. Maybe you have some extra fabric left over and want to make this. She's Beauty, she's Grace, she's the S9850 DIY kit. Showing this to you on the mannequin because I think it's gonna make a lot more sense if it's on the mannequin on a figure versus flat. So construction-wise, exactly the same. The only thing that we did differently, and that will be super helpful, hopefully for you, is that when we applied the appliques to the dress, we put it on and then we placed them. Then we pinned them how we wanted to when it was on body, and we actually used fashion glue to glue it. If you have, and that was only because of a time constraint, we had to photograph it on the model. So wanted to recommend two things to you. If you have the time to sew down the appliques, kudos to you. But if you're in a pinch, if you hate hand sewing, we use fashion glue, adhesive to glue these down, and it's really secure. It's really secure. I know fashion glue gets like a bad rep sometimes, but it really is like secure. And we cut up the appliques too and placed them how we wanted to. So we have one going down here, and then we actually have one going across, and then we have another one going down here, and then we cut them up so that it would continue down here. This is just the velvet ribbon and then the little charm detail at the front. Last but certainly not least is the Buffy corset inspired top, which it really isn't corset inspired anymore because it doesn't have the channeling on it, but let's just call it the Buffy top then, sure. So it's the Buffy top, crop top with the panty. No changes to the panty. For the crop top, construction mostly the same. We just didn't add the channeling on here, so it's just like a little crop top. For the bottom of this bottom ruffle, the kits come with like a trim like this, and it is pre-sheared or pre-pleated. This is non-stretch. So if you want to sew it to the Buffy at the bottom edge, that's gonna be an issue because in order for you to get this over your head, you're gonna need it to stretch. So what we did is that we actually took out this stitching that pleated it, and then sheared it with a gathering stitch. Some sewers call it shear, some sewers call it gather, same thing in my opinion. Then gathered it and then applied it to underneath the fold over elastic at the bottom. That way, when you try to put it on over your head, you can get it on. Because if not, you're gonna have some issues trying to get it on. It's gonna look really pretty off the hanger or on the hanger, but you won't be able to get it over your head. But other than that, construction is exactly the same. For this super cute skirt that we paired with it, we've never come out with a kit for the 9729 half slip. It is just the chartreuse lycra. The kits come with a elastic. We made a self casing. And then for the bottom, did the same thing for the bottom ruffle, did the same thing is that we took out the stitching from that ruffle or pleated trim, then applied it to the bottom edge of the skirt. So that is the end of the guide for the spring collection. I really hope this makes sense, gives some light in case you're sewing this kit a year from now, a couple months from now. As always, if there are any questions about any of your kits, please don't hesitate to reach out, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share and all that jazz. Sharing is caring.